But see, that's the thing, Mike.
thing.
American mayonnaise is decidedly different than what you're
Okay.
gonna get in Europe. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like I thought the same thing, but like on every other corner, like in Germany, there's food stands, and you can buy a bag of fries, and no one's putting ketchup on them. They're
Mhm.
putting mayonnaise in the same, those the tubes that squirt ketchup out. It squirts out mayonnaise, and it's not the same. Like you're not taking this mayonnaise and spreading it on a sandwich. It's
Right.
like meant to like dip, you know what I mean, stuff in. Here we have like, you got your Hellman's, which is nasty, Miracle Whip, which isn't really mayonnaise.
Mhm.
You notice it's like most, to me, restaurant mayonnaise tastes better than what we buy off the shelf.
Mhm.
To me, it's
Right.
like, why don't they put this in the store?
Maybe it doesn't keep that well.
That could be it. That
Yeah.
could be it. What kind of
This show
mayonnaise do
is
you eat,
like,
Mike?
Veganese.
yeah, you can call it Veganese, or there's
Oh, because of
another.
the eggs, right?
Yeah, there's another brand called Mayonnaise.
Because most mayonnaise has eggs in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like the main ingredient.
yeah. I realize you can't always assume a restaurant knows what Veganese is. The last time I put Veganese, they just didn't put anything on it, and it was a sad, dry sandwich. So he was like,
I'd have
"Oh,"
been mad.
he was, yeah. I, it's like you get tired of communicate. I don't know. I should have. It said like request vegan mayonnaise if you want it. So I just should have like word for word said what it said. But I just put veganese, and he of course didn't know what that meant.
It's
So I
like we
got
have
a
the
sad.
best vegan mayonnaise ever.
So I just got a sad, dry ass sandwich. And he was like, "Yeah, next time put vegan mayonnaise." I was like, "Okay."
It's like it's the best vegan mayonnaise ever. We have the best. Like it's flavorless. It's
Yo, so I'm
weightless.
not
You won't
gonna
even get
lie.
any weight from this
This
mayonnaise.
this place that I order from, I think I was telling you about this ish. Because they've got
Many
this,
times.
they've got this. I didn't even say it yet. You don't know what I'm
Oh,
about to say.
please.
Thank you. Um, so
I know what you're gonna say.
what am I gonna say?
Go ahead.
No, no, no. You said you know. I wanna see if you do.
Go ahead, man.
No, come on. Let me see if you know.
Are you talking about the one with the menu, with the vegan menu
Go ahead.
that isn't really like vegan? The one you
Mm,
complained about, because you're always complaining about a restaurant.
No, no, that's not it.
Okay.
So so they got this thing called, what is it? The is it the no, not the unegg. What's the new egg? Oh, just egg.
Yeah.
Just egg.
Yep.
So they
Okay. Go on.
that wasn't what you were
No,
thinking
because
of.
you said you think you talked to me about it, and you did. That's why I'm saying yeah, you did.
Okay.
Go on.
So I order from this. Well, first of all, the menu's weird. I'm not gonna lie, the menu's weird. The menu says 3 eggs, and then it says vegan, and then it says something else, and it's just very weird, the wording. So I do call up just to make sure. And they're like, "Oh no, it means vegan." I'm like, "Okay, that's just weird that they didn't just say like it usually just says tofu scramble, right? You don't say 3 eggs vegan. That's just a weird way of putting it. And even that uh, order of words is weird. Even then, you would say 3 vegan eggs. So it was just weird. I had to call to make sure. But long story short, I get the food, and I've made just eggs like maybe once. So long story short, I get the food, and the shit looks like eggs to me. Like it looks like eggs. And these restaurants kind of fuck up. And I've talked to Ish about this, and Ish is like, "Well, that seems weird that they would make that level of mistake." And he's like, "I was like, you have no idea. I've had people give me meat when I ordered off the vegan menu because they were like, we ran out of the other things, so we just gave you what we had." And I'm like, "You got to be shitting me." But anyways, I call, and sure enough, he's like, "No, man, we know we made it from this side of the menu. These are vegan eggs." And I just had to realize, like, shit's gotten too real. It's
Just egg is like 50% of my diet. It's like it takes up like a third of my fridge right now.
really,
Love
Those
just egg. I'm
squeezable,
addicted
those
to it.
squeezable bottles.
And they have folding ones that you can like put in the toaster that you can put in a sandwich.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'll go get it. So
Folding?
I find it to be a very confusing product though, because the name is misleading for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
What's it called?
reason,
The egg people are
So-
probably gonna try to sue. Like you can't
Well,
call
the
that
big
What's
just
it
thing is-
called?
egg. Just egg.
Oh, you told me
there's no
about this,
egg,
Mike.
just
Yeah.
egg, right?
Yeah.
That's a bottle, and then they also have these ones. They're like folded, and you can cook it or you can put it like in the toaster, and then you have like a folded
Oh.
egg.
Wow. Okay.
But it's really confusing because I don't go out and buy groceries. I order my groceries because of COVID, and often if the store is out of just egg, the Prime shopper, if I don't catch them in time, will put eggs in my like bag, and then I'll
Like
get
real,
eggs.
like a real egg.
Yeah, real eggs.
That's not good.
No, because I think they don't understand that just egg is not egg at all.
You should write. You should write to them.
Well, every time it's happened, I get a refund. I'm like, contact Amazon
Oh,
or
they
whatever.
refund your whole. They refund your whole order.
Not the whole order, just the amount that was spent on the eggs.
Oh well, and then the amount that you had to tip on the egg that you didn't get to eat.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
Yeah,
like,
that's messed up.
I'm trying to be nice. I assume that the person just didn't understand.
Mike is taking that tip back. Mike is like, yo, I'm telling you. Mike is taking the tip back. It's like you messed up my order. Notice he
I
said the
assume that-
amount of tip on the egg, the amount of egg you didn't get to eat.
I think society has turned me into the type of vegan that, like, how they say white guilt causes people to behave in weird ways. I feel like I suffer from like vegan guilt, where like society has taught me that I'm a bad person for being a vegan and that I'm making people's lives harder. So I try, like, it's turned me into one of those super apologetic vegans where I don't want to
Yeah,
like be
we're
a
all
burden
like
on
that a
people.
Yeah, we're all
Really?
like that a bit.
Oh yeah.
Man, please. Y'all better accept my man.
Because
I'm
we're
not sorry,
presented
not
in
sorry.
culture. We're presented in culture as people who are bossy and pushy with our ideas.
Oh yeah, I get it. You are.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But so then it makes you want to be like, oh, I don't want to be presented in that way. I don't feel like I am that way. So then you like step back a little bit and you're like, oh, I'm vegan, but don't be mad at me about it.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's a
That's
good point.
interesting. I didn't know that vegans were compelled to feel that way. That's really
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
All of the tropes, like how do you know someone's vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you, and like all that stuff. I don't know.
Oh wow.
I think
Wow.
it is like we deal with a lot of other people's guilt, right? Like even like when people ask you that, this is why sometimes I react a certain way that I do, like when family members or friends of family members or girlfriends of family members ask you about your food choices. There's always a thing there. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's curiosity, but they ask you and then you answer, and then their response is like, "Well, don't make me feel guilty about what I do." And it's like I responded to you, like you asked me out of the blue. I didn't run up to you and start asking you about what you eat. So like, don't get offended.
Yeah. There's
know?
definitely an element of people projecting their guilt onto you because it's almost never that I'm just offering up the information that I'm vegan. It might come up in it and then I'll talk about it, but I'm never like, hey, hi, I'm Erica, I'm vegan. You're a monster for eating meat.
It comes up because they see you not eating something or they see you ordering a certain way and then they start asking questions. And in the end, they make it like you're the self-righteous one or something. You know what I mean?
Even though they inquired.
Yeah, when it's certainly not the case.
It's because people lack altruism.
Well, it's not just altruism. It's just that they feel guilty. It's like we live in a weird society. Like, I knew a person who, when we talked about eating animals versus having pets and loving pets, and and pigs being just as smart as dogs. Now, first of all, humans are weird, right? They attach intelligence to whether or not you should eat an animal. To which case I say, well, should we be eating dumb kids then? Like, I mean, what is like we're going to use
I'm all for it.
intelligence? We're going to use intelligence as to whether or not we should be eating other sentient beings. That's for one thing, but the other is like,
I
you
nominate
know,
dreamer babies.
I'm talking to this person, and we're like, people love their dogs, and pigs are just as intelligent as dogs, but people have no problem eating pigs, you know. And we got to talking about stray animals, stray cats and dogs. And this person was like, well, listen, there's tons of cats out there. These are street cats. These are street animals. Like, it sounded kind of like gross what they were saying, but at least they were consistent, right? Like, at least they were saying, at least they weren't making some weird differentiation that has no real, has no real basis.
I think you lost me. What was their point with the street animals?
Sorry.
They would eat a cat.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. They were basically saying they would eat a cat. Yeah, because it was a street cat. Well, I guess what they were really saying is like, once you have a
Just
pet,
got to cook out the game taste.
yeah, once you have a pet and you love your pet, once the love is there, you can't eat the animal. But if it's just the street animal, it's not the same.
Tell that to people that raise sheep and goat in their house like pets specifically to cook them.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. The farmers tend to be different. They tend to be, more. Life for them is a bit different. They're kind of like more in touch with what they're actually doing. Right?
They understand where their food comes from.
Yeah, same as hunters. They're actually, they understand where their food comes from. And I got to be honest, as like someone who feels for others, I've got much less of a problem with people who hunt and eat than people who get their food from factory farms where they're being tortured their entire lives. Whereas, like, at least when you hunt, this animal's been living free its whole life, and then hopefully, died relatively quickly. Whereas it's not the case for factory farms.
At least with a factory farm. Now, of course, I agree with what you're saying for the most part, but I would say, at least for a factory farm, like, you're not taking an animal away from an enjoyable life. You're taking an animal away from a miserable life. But the problem is that the culture of eating meat is what created that miserable life for the animal in the first place.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that. That's like a logical conundrum. I mean, like you said, your lifestyle has created that misery in the first place. So I can't say at least anything.
Right.
I would say the whole system is screwed up.
I feel like the double guilt because I'm gluten-free and vegan, and there's also that hatred culturally for the gluten-free person.
Right.
There's a hatred for gluten-free people.
Right,
I didn't know you existed until like 2 hours ago.
Right, but there's a trend. There are people that got in on the gluten-free bandwagon as kind of a dietary trend.
Yeah.
And so for a while, everybody's like, oh, I have to have a gluten-free, but there was no health reason for them to have to have a gluten-free. And for someone that's in a restaurant or someone blah, 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 they found that to be obnoxious and inconvenient for them.
Yeah. So I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
Right. So now, even though I have to order gluten-free, I feel guilty doing it. So then I usually I'll sit down at the table and I'll be like, all right, I have celiac disease, so I can't have this, and this, rather than say, oh, I can't eat gluten.
Yeah,
'Cause
you got to
that's
speak. You got to speak in the language people understand.
I'm sorry. I feel bad that you both feel like you need to apologize to people or feel guilty for being who you are.
I mean, I wouldn't say it to that level. I mean, I think I'm more empathizing with Erica. I wouldn't say it to that level, but for sure, there's an understanding that there is, you know, that there's certainly disconnect or people feel some kind of way. For me, it's less about having to apologize and more about having to navigate, about trying to figure out what's what. Like, I just ordered from a place where, it said, oh, vegan Beyond Burger, blah, blah, blah. And there was something on the menu that I just knew, oh, it said like some kind of like remoulade sauce and cheese. So I'm like, they're not describing this as vegan cheese or blah, blah, blah. So let me call and see what's up. And sure enough, it's like, oh, well, you can order it without the cheese and the remoulade sauce or whatever. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do that. But like, that's already a red flag that they put this in the vegan section, right? It's already a red flag that I had to call and like
Hey,
figure
beautiful
out how
lady.
to. What's that? Oh, that I
I was
had to
talking to my
call.
wife.
Okay, that I had to call and ask about this. So I asked them. I'm like, so is the bun vegan or whatever? And mind you, this is in a vegan section that says vegan Beyond Burger, blah blah blah. And so I asked them, and he finds out, oh yeah, it's French bread, it's vegan. I'm like, I just kind of learned to hear something in people's voice where they're bullshitting. I'm like, okay, so you're saying this bread is vegan? Yeah, it's French bread, it's vegan. Okay, so I get their little vegan burger or whatever. It's the only thing that I ordered from them. It's kind of late. I'm not too hungry. I don't need to be eating too much. I get their little vegan burger.
I'm
There's
sorry,
like
I love when you tell these stories when I know you're clearly feeling some type of way.
there's like a $6 discount, so it makes this only like a $6 and change burger plus tax, tip,
It's like, I'm
whatever.
gonna get your little vegan burger.
So I get it. I open it up. The first thing I see is the bun on top is kind of shiny, and I'm kind of moving the bun around, and I'm feeling like some oily thing on my hand. And so I'm kind of looking at the burger, seeing what's on it. First of all, it's like this dry ass burger with, a few weak ass vegetables, and I gotta put the ketchup on myself or whatever.
Oh no!
And yeah, it's just the dry. And well, second of all, I ordered this thing medium rare, which is like if you ever get a Beyond Burger ish, and especially I know how you like your meat, order it medium rare. That's a nice thing you can do with a Beyond Burger. Which last time
Now
I was
Beyond is like the answer to like the Impossible Burger, right?
I don't know if it's the answer. I don't know which one came first. Impossible.
I mean, but
Beyond.
they're kind of like in the same.
They're in the same vein, except
It's
Beyond
like Whopper
never.
to Big Mac, right?
Yeah, except Beyond never tested on rats or killed, animals to get their product to the table. They didn't use this like chemical thing, so people respond better to it as far as not feeling weird or sick after eating it. But so long story short, so this thing is black and it's kind of crispy and it's definitely not medium rare. Beautiful thing about the Beyond Burger is however they made this thing, you order it medium rare, which I never got to enjoy when I did eat meat because, back then, I was young and I was like, I'm not messing with any kind of nonsense. You make my shit
Cook it all the way.
well, yeah, you make my shit well done. So you order it medium rare and it's succulent, it's juicy, it's great. And it's one of the things that makes a Beyond Burger so great. So, this shit is crispy. They've not paid attention to my notes, but more importantly, this shit is fucking. What is the oil on this bread?
To your notes.
Sounds like an egg wash.
So, yeah, an egg wash yeah, I don't know if an egg wash would be oily like that. So I call up and I say, so yeah, there's something on the bun. There's something on the bun. Yeah, there's something oily or buttery. Oh, there's something on the bun. Yep, there's definitely something on the bun. Can you ask the chef or ask the cook what it is? And he's like, oh man, I don't know. There shouldn't be anything on the bun. I don't know what it is. Okay, well, can you ask the chef or the cook like what it is? Like the chef or the cook's there. They made the food. They know what's on the food. Can you ask them, please? Oh, okay. And they come back. Oh yeah, I think it's butter. What? What is it? It's butter. I'm like, okay. So I called up. We had like an entire conversation
I
about.
left you notes. I gave you notes.
We had an entire conversation about the fact that this was supposed to be a vegan burger, but I had to take off the cheese and the remoulade sauce. And you assured me that it was on a vegan bun. You kept saying it's a French bun, it's vegan, which was probably a bullshit phrase that he just says to sound confident so you buy his product, because that's how they do you. And at the end of the day, like these places, they're just throwing phrases into their menu that attract your eye to their menu. So when I put vegan into the search bar, their menu comes up so they can get more business. But these motherfuckers have nothing on their menu that's vegan. And when you put vegan into their menu search bar, oftentimes nothing comes up. And it's like, oh, you're just throwing words in there to try to attract more business. So this one happened.
But it's not like a vegan is gonna find that place and be like, oh, I'm gonna eat when there's like nothing there that I can eat.
Right.
You might
Exactly.
if you're in the neighborhood.
Exactly. Like unless you decide to, I don't know, unless you find something like a soda or fries or something like, yeah, something that
Tomatoes.
yeah, something that's not even worth going there for. But this one did. This one specifically said vegan burger, blah blah blah. And so I'm like, all right, man. So I'm gonna need a refund, on this order, and B, just like take this off. Just like stop calling this a vegan burger. All right, like call it a veggie burger all you want. You've got your remoulade, you've got your cheddar cheese, you've got your butter on the bun. Just call it a veggie burger and be done with it. Right? Like stop calling it a vegan burger. Like in no way, shape, or form is this vegan. Like it just doesn't make any sense. So that's
I run
my
into that
rant for the day.
with gluten. And the
Yeah.
problem is when they are bullshitting you, they're risking your health and they're like, it's a bigger risk when they bullshit you about like gluten. Same as with if they're gonna bullshit you about nuts or something. So I hear this phrase a lot. Yeah, it's vegan, so it's gluten free. And then I have to be, those two things are not the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's vegan, so I think it's definitely gluten free. I'm like, and then I have to say, like, okay, if you give me food and it has gluten in it, you are going to make me very, very sick. Like I cannot eat it. Are you sure what you're saying is true? Yeah. Why don't you go back and ask? And then half the time they come back, oh no, it has I guess it has wheat in it. And
well, my favorite phrase
is
Why did you have to put the Becky voice on?
Because I live in California. That's how people talk about it.
My favorite phrase is,
Mike,
oh yeah,
Mike,
there's a little bit of
this real quick.
little bit of cream.
Mike,
there's just a little bit.
This is a segue. We get right back to it. Did you see the post I posted on Comic Sense, the DC Very Merry Christmas comic?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I thought you might enjoy that because there are not one but two different Black Supermen on that cover.
Oh, okay. I didn't get into the details, but
one even has an afro.
Oh, okay. One. That's my favorite. One of my favorite early '90s songs, Black Superman.
By A+.
No. Good song though. I forget the name
Okay,
of the group,
so being vegan in America is difficult.
that hard.
If
It's
you're
just
if
you
you're
have to
not
be
gonna
ever
prepare your own
vigilant.
food.
It could be easier than some other countries. I don't know. I haven't been to many other countries.
Well,
It's
I
hard
just
in
mean,
France.
It's hard
is
in
it?
France, you said?
Yeah, it's
Oh
getting
yeah,
better though.
because France is cream and everything, right?
Yeah,
Cream
the
and
first time I
cheese
ever
and
went to France, I
fromage.
couldn't find any vegan food. The last time I was there were like some vegan restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more worldwide, but I can imagine France is cheese, milk, cream, eggs, du
It's more
fromage.
difficult in America if you are adventurous and want to try a lot of restaurants. If you kind
Right.
of just know your staples and just stick to them, it's not that hard to be vegan in America.
I
That is
imagine it's
true.
much easier if you're preparing your own food.
Yeah, but who wants to do that all the time?
Well, everything's, yeah. I mean, if it's your own food, it's super easy. There's nothing but ease. If it's your own food, you control everything.
I mean, because Mike, you're always, drinking things that, or taking things, eating things, consuming things that I would find a little bit exotic that are interesting to me, right? Like
Like
things
what?
that I think, well, because I'm squarely stuck on this side of the house where I'm like, omnivorous, right? Like I eat meat and vegetables, and so I don't consider some of the, like you'll drink like a carrot shake with like ginger, and you know what I'm
Right, right.
saying, or
Yeah, yeah.
something like that, you know what I mean, which
Sure,
I just
sure.
would never even consider, you know what I mean, not saying it's not good, it's just something I would never even think,
I
you know what
will
I mean.
agree. I will agree that remembering transitioning from meat eating to vegetarianism to veganism, I did branch out immediately. Like there was this branch out because it was like, well, I got to find something to eat now. So like my first time eating like portobello mushrooms and like a bunch of things I had just never considered before came from, yeah, where there was limit in some ways, there was like infinite opportunities for exploration in others.
Now, were there hurdles, like did you encounter stuff like right away that it's like, oh, this is nasty, or were some things like an acquired taste, so to
Um,
speak?
I don't know about acquired. I mean, I found pretty quickly what I liked, and I found brands that I liked, and I found cuisines that I had to stay away from, cuisines that like just people, whether because of language or whatever, didn't understand you. Like I found that the what is it? Not Vietnamese, but I found that the Thai cuisines were shaky. That places that had promised that they were offering a vegan menu for years were actually found out to be using fish sauce and everything. So I found the Thai cuisine
Oh,
to be,
wow.
yeah, to be shaky. That
You
happened
know
in
what?
Buffalo.
It's gotten better. Like soy milk in the 90s before the brand Silk soy milk came out, soy milk was terrible.
Yeah, I remember. I
It
remember
was
trying it.
nasty.
I remember
Tastes like
trying
chalk.
to buy. Yeah, I remember buying a brand out of nowhere for the first time, not having an idea what to try.
My grocery store only had one brand. I've never seen it. Like I haven't seen it in years. They probably went out of business. I don't even remember what it was. It started soy nasty or something. But man, it was not
So
good.
nasty.
Sounds
It
like
was
a
not
bad
good.
rapper, like MC Soy Nasty.
Yeah.
Out of the bay.
That would be a good one. Yeah, no, it was not good. And then the creative vegan foods weren't there yet. I think it's gotten a lot better with Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat. They made it a little bit easier for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, those things are cool. I think people get a little stuck on those things too much, and anytime you get stuck on something, it could inhibit creativity. I mean, those things are a cool option. I think there needs to be more options like those, not just being stuck on those. And a lot of places make
Like
their own
Beyond
good.
Chicken.
No, a lot of places make their own good
Well,
versions
why
of
not? You can have
like
just eggs.
no. Beyond
Well,
already has a bunch of products.
yeah, they
Is what
had
I'm
some
saying.
really good chicken that kind of dropped off the face of the earth when they started making burgers, actually. But yeah,
Really?
there's a lot of different varieties. There's a vegan fast food place that we ate at last night that I haven't had in a few months, and they make their own burgers, and their burgers are delicious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now I ordered from this place a couple times, which I'm never ordering their Beyond products again. But it's like it's like a it's like a taco burrito place. And when I ordered their like Beyond Beef, it's nasty and it's weird to me. I'm like, I've never had Beyond nasty like this. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
So
I
I'm
have.
just like,
I have. Because they do it wrong. They overcook it.
is that all? Is that all
Well,
that it is?
so if you get the loose meat, though, it's not even seasoned. So it's up to you to season it. And Del Taco around here, they do a Beyond Taco. It's hard shell, which I'm morally opposed to hard shell tacos because that's not a taco.
Right.
But like if I'm on the road and I'm hungry, I will go to Del Taco. And it's not good. They overcook the meat and they cook
unseasoned.
Yeah,
So
or they cook it before they season it. Yeah.
What?
You gotta season
they
it.
They cook it before they season it?
People do this with tofu too. This is the problem. They'll cook the tofu, then they'll throw a little sauce on top. You gotta marinate.
No, that's an abomination. That's
not even how you're supposed to cook and call yourself a cook.
See, and this is what I'm saying is these places would never do this with chicken. So I'm saying if you wouldn't do it with chicken, then why would you do it with tofu? Why?
Because they don't respect the tofu. They have no respect for the tofu.
Stop looking at it as something so foreign and just do unto tofu as you would do unto chicken.
I just don't these places would never do this with chicken. Like you wouldn't do this to chicken.
I just don't get it. You would never just throw a piece of unseasoned chicken on the barbecue and then pick it back up and slap some sauce on it and give it to someone. Or not even slap some sauce on it. Just like throw some vegetables on it.
Dip it in barbecue sauce.
Yeah, and just give it to somebody.
Barbecue
this is what you like to eat, right? Just unseasoned food?
Yeah.
Because you're vegan?
Yeah, exactly. That's how they treat us, Ish. That's what they do. Oh, and then you complain, I had a place.
You need to start a vegan soul food chain.
There's plenty of vegan soul food places.
I've definitely thought about it.
Yeah, but our black people in these vegan soul food places.
Mine would be more than that. Mine would be a
vegan soul food places.
Yes,
mine would be a
I
world.
can name at least three. There's 3 places where I've had good vegan soul food. There's a place in DC that's good vegan soul food.
Called?
I can't remember the names of any of these places, unfortunately.
Okay.
But it's all vegan, and it's
kind of a bigger place, right?
What's that?
Kind of a bigger place.
It's
kind of big.
I remember it being like the size of the restaurant when I went there.
Oh, that's a different place then.
Yeah, but it's all vegan. If you walk in there, most of the clientele are African American. Most of the people cooking are African American. There's another place in Daytona Beach that's really good vegan soul food. Same thing. It's got like vegan soul food with a Jamaican flair. People in there are African American, and then the customers are African American. And then there's another place in Oakland that's really good. It's a sit down place.
Wait a minute, the customers are African American too?
Yeah. I mean, that's another stereotype. People think vegans are white people, but there are a lot of African American vegans. But there seems to be
actually, it's growing. Veganism is growing in our communities more than any other communities. There are more and more. My parents are now. My mom's 85% vegan. My dad's 100. He's lost I think 25 pounds recently, and my mom's feet have been way better and stuff. Just feeling much healthier. But yeah, it's growing in our community. Like my parents live in Atlanta, and Atlanta's dope for vegans. Atlanta's dope for vegans.
It's almost like there's 2 separate vegan cultures too. There seems to be, as I experience it more, there's obviously people that are vegan and are kind of bridging the cultures, but there seems to be almost a separate African American vegan culture and a separate community of white vegans, and it's become its own subculture.
Yeah, well, what I'm hoping is that you walk into a Black vegan restaurant and you always get baked macaroni and cheese. I'm hoping that's the thing, because you
and cornbread.
I will not Um, I
And
just won't
collard greens
stand.
with Beyond Bacon.
That sounds
Once
great
they
to
start
me.
making bacon.
That sounds
Huh?
great to me. I mean, yeah, no, that I wouldn't be surprised. That sounds great to me. But I will not settle for anything less than baked macaroni and cheese. You just shouldn't settle for it.
Yeah.
Now,
I believe the place in Oakland has it. That I went to last time I was in the Bay Area. They definitely have baked mac and cheese. I can't eat it because it's not gluten free, but like it looked good.
Right.
Oh, that's right. You shared my post a few years back when I was like, if your macaroni comes in a pot with cheese sauce,
Yeah,
I'm not
man.
eating it.
No, I mean,
Like,
I told you about what happened to me in DC when this place fronted on me and tried to act like they had baked macaroni and cheese, and it wasn't baked. It was some stovetop nonsense, but it was really nasty. And like their whole trickery was, oh, order it, make sure you order it and have like 10 minutes to wait. It's going to be coming out of the oven, or blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is baked macaroni and cheese, and I get this nonsense, and it has no taste, no flavor whatsoever. There's a black. This place obviously isn't black owned. I don't know what it is,
a
but there's
black
black
person serving
people.
it to you, like you ain't been black your whole life and can't tell the difference between a pot baked macaroni and cheese. Like we have a censor for that.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely black people working at the counter. But I don't know who was in the back making this stuff. But I'm like, I mean, you went out of your way to lie to me. You went out of your way to make me think it was baked because you know that people like me will
You
only
got
order
10
baked
minutes.
macaroni and cheese. Like you
Hope
went
you got
out of
10
your way.
minutes.
You went out of your way to create a deceptive advertising to be like, oh, it's going to be coming out of the oven, right? So
Like,
yeah,
I
so
hope
you
got
you
10
you did the
minutes.
shit stove top, and then you left it in the oven to keep it warm. Like that's some real trickery. And so when I called him out, and I'm like, this is like I can't even eat
I
this.
cannot get jiggy with this.
This is this is horrible. I can't eat this. He's gonna hit me with, oh well, this is vegan macaroni and cheese. It's different. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I know what vegan macaroni and cheese tastes like. I didn't give him my resume and tell him how long I had been vegan, but I was like really hurt by this. And this was a brother doing
Not
this
only
to me.
that, I know what oven baked macaroni and cheese is supposed to look like. I don't care what you
Exactly.
want to call it.
Look
Like, what are
like,
we
taste
doing
like,
here?
give me my money back, bro. Like, give me my money back. This is horrible.
You
This is
messed up when
horrible.
you put it in the pot. If it ever touched the pot, I don't care if you put it in the oven. Like if water, if it touched the pot with the cheese, like stop. We're done here.
No, but I mean that's interesting what you say about there's two different vegan cuisines or vegan places, that there's white places and black places. I mean, really, there's more than that, right? Because, well, I guess not really. Well, I was going to say, like, because oftentimes there's like Jamaican places and then there's soul food places, right? But
Mhm.
sometimes those places are mixing now, right?
Yeah.
Because you definitely your Jamaican places often do have some good vegan mac. There's places in Brooklyn. One place is called Four Seasons.
Oh,
Um,
Four Seasons. There's a vegan place in Philly that's called Four Seasons. I've been to the one in Brooklyn.
oh, okay.
It's good.
Yeah, that place is good. There was another one that had vegan lasagna that was like their place was the bomb, called
Is there
Scoops.
vegan fish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's vegan everything. There's vegan everything pretty much.
What's
Um,
interesting about the Four Seasons restaurant in Brooklyn versus the one in Philly, which I think closed down, is that the one in Philly was African American owned, and I believe they were like Seventh-day Adventist or something. But they're not associated with the one in Brooklyn. So I'm interested
oh
to know
no,
like where the name Four Seasons comes from.
it's just a common name for restaurants. There's
Yeah, I
plenty
was
of
about to say
places
Four
that are.
Seasons is like old name.
Yeah, it's just a common name. When I looked up Four Seasons, I had to like narrow down my search because there's a bunch of different places.
Was interesting to me that both places were vegan places, you know.
Yeah, that's how ubiquitous the name is, that even different places have that, because the one in Brooklyn is it's a Jamaican place.
Oh, really?
The one that I'm talking about. Yeah, they're not Seventh Day
Oh, yeah.
Adventists. It's just a straight up Jamaican place, and they only have vegan mac and cheese on the weekends, and they have the best smoothies, like probably in the city.
Oh, gotta change the channel. I hate this guy.
That's who you hate.
Chris Cuomo.
Oh, Fredo. You hate Fredo?
I can't stand Chris Cuomo.
Oh, come on. You can't hate Fredo.
He's a weird person to hate.
Not really, but
did he make you eat onions?
Chris raisins.
So wait, you don't even want raisins like as a snack? You just don't want raisins at all ever?
So as a personal trainer, I highly recommend raisins. Raisins
They're very bad for your teeth.
Okay, so the one thing about raisins
not as bad as popcorn
is, so you know, if you take the average 9 to 5 workday, right? So after you eat lunch, right, digesting food takes energy, and you're usually around about 2 to 3 o'clock, you're like tired and ready to go. And a box of raisins are like the perfect dose of quick energy. Like they'll give you a boost for the rest of your day. Like it's just a perfect go-to quick release energy, like super quick release energy. And so I always recommend, I'm like, you know, at that time of day when you're winding down from digesting your lunch and you're feeling tired and, you know, you're watching the clock, eat a box of raisins.
I'll just throw some grapes in whatever I have for lunch.
That's good quick release energy. Really good quick release energy.
Wait, but no. But you're throwing grapes in what you have for lunch. He's suggesting that you have this for a couple of hours.
Yeah, like around 2 o'clock. Yeah. 2, 3 o'clock when you know you're getting off at 5. And because what happens is, especially, and you guys don't, so you don't have to worry about that, right? But like one of the things that causes you to be, first of all, it takes energy to digest food. So digesting meat is the most difficult. Like it's the reason why when people eat big steaks or what have you, they get real sluggish and they want to go lay down or rest and relax, because it takes more energy to digest meat. But just digesting food takes energy, right? So a lot of times, you know, people have a nice sized lunch, they're going to the process of them digesting that is going to take energy. And then, you know,
the sluggish ruckus zone.
Yeah, and it's usually around 2 o'clock you feel kind of drained and you're tired, and eat some raisins.
It's the sluggish ruckus zone. It's the sluggish ruckus zone.
But no, I don't like Chris Cuomo because he reminds me of the left's version of Bill O'Reilly.
I don't know enough about him to have an opinion on him. I just know that he had COVID, and then that was it.
He bothers me and he insults my intelligence every day that he talks on TV.
Yeah, he gets very angry. And
yes,
I saw him get in someone's face like, wait, did they show the video or did they just describe that person who he was basically like getting like very threatening with? I think
he's very emo.
Someone called him Fredo.
Emo?
He's very emotional, and he's the spin doctor on the left. Like, you know, conservatives spin stuff bad. Chris Cuomo will insult if you're a critically thinking, you know, Democrat or, you know, someone who's on the left or liberal or however, whatever, you know, you're someone who critically thinks, he will insult your intelligence every day of the week. Like he literally, my wife he's the most popular person on CNN. His show is like the highest rated show. So my wife will constantly have him on, and especially during the Trump administration. I don't support Trump. I'm not a fan of Trump. You don't have to spin something that Trump does. Like, if Trump does something dumb, it speaks for itself. Right? You don't even have to prep that. Like, you just show the clip. Well, Chris Cuomo, this is what he'll do. He'll be like, America, Donald Trump doesn't love the people of America, and this is why. And then he'll show a clip of Donald Trump saying something stupid, which has nothing to do with Donald Trump not loving the people of America. And it was to see, if he loved the people of America, those words would have done. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you don't have to spin it this way for me. You could just show me the clip of him saying something dumb. You don't have to give me your speech. And he'll, like, it's literally, he'll give it. It won't just be the statement that I said. He'll give you a speech. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. He makes me want to puke.
Yeah,
Chris
it's a
Cuomo.
result of it's a response to the right where people think that they have to be spin doctors in the opposite direction to combat, to combat the propaganda. He was the one famous for saying calling an Italian Fredo is like calling a black person the N-word. And that's
Oh
when
yeah,
he like
yeah,
came close to beating up that reporter.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, but the reporter was really trying to be offensive to him.
it's getting kind of
guess.
late. I gotta get going because I'm gonna go for a walk. We have like a curfew in California, so we gotta get our walk in before curfew.
Didn't they shut down like multiple counties somewhere in California recently?
Yeah, our county is in lockdown, but like not really. So they say you should only leave your home for essential reasons. You can leave your home to exercise, blah blah blah. But stores are open, and I don't mean like grocery stores. I mean like Macy's. They're at 20% capacity. They did shut down outdoor dining, so restaurants are only open for takeout. But like, I guess they're trying to do a lockdown while also salvaging the economy. So they're leaving all the like retail stores open and
They
stuff.
should do like outdoor barbershops.
We have those. They didn't. I don't think they closed down salons, but when they did open them back up, they had to be outside for a while. That was part of it. I don't know what the rules are.
A lot of people are losing their livelihoods forever, and then a lot of people are losing their lives with COVID. So it's like a hard.
Yeah, so I think
really
that's what they're trying to do. They recognize that it's a holiday shopping season, so they're trying to like not close down stores completely, but instead drastically reduce capacity. And they're also recognizing that the main source of the COVID transmission, at least here in California, is, and probably everywhere else too, is people getting together with their friends at home.
That's what the main source here in Western New York, which is crazy. Like, we're getting hit hard, and they call it living room transferal. Like, it's literally people getting together, passing it to each other.
Yeah, so around here,
that does not make me feel good.
My zip code is for San Diego County where I live. We have the highest COVID rates, our zip code, just like my neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
But like, I'm not interacting with my neighbors at all. So like, I'm locked in my house all the time.
Or do you mask? Do you mask?
Yeah, of course. But I don't go in any stores. All I ever do is take the dog to the vet, and I just give them the dog, and I wait in my car, and they bring the dog back when it's over. And I go for walks around the neighborhood.
So
at night when there's not that many people out.
We don't grocery shop online. So we go to stores. I just kind of limit we have there are specific stores and a max number that we go to, and like, we go to the grocery store down the street. I go to a store in my community, and it's crazy because I've kind of been feeling bad about it because like no one in this community is walking around in masks. So I pull up and it's like I have the plague. Like, I have a mask. I keep disinfecting wipes in my car. So like, I don't even touch the door without, like, the disinfectant wipe opens the door. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. You know what I mean? Like, everything that I purchase, which is very little things, it gets wiped off before it gets in my car. Like, this is how I'm super precautious. But yeah, I'm not going to a lot of places either. My wife works from home.
I wipe stuff down. Like, when they arrive, when I get my groceries delivered, I wipe them down before I put them in the fridge.
It's interesting because
my roommate had someone here the other day.
Oh no.
Without a mask.
Yeah, they put one on pretty soon after I noticed them. I mean, I asked, but I was like, has this person been tested? And I gotta, don't worry, everything's fine, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
remember when we were in middle school, and I don't know what they teach the girls in health class when they separate the boys and the girls. What they I don't know what they teach the boys, I mean. But what they teach the girls is when a guy wants to sleep with you, he's going to use the line, trust me. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't have an STD. It only means he wants to sleep with you. So you hear that with people now with COVID, they're like, trust me, I'm being safe. And you're like, okay. I was listening in 6th grade health class.
Yeah.
Oh, they used to tell us that about the girls too. They were like, listen, she's gonna say trust me.
I
Hey,
feel
y'all have a
like they
good night.
taught the
It's
guys
been awesome
different
talking
stuff.
to you again, Erica.
Yeah, it was good talking to you. I'm gonna go see if I can
Yeah,
get
me too.
out for a walk and back before there's a 10 p.m. curfew. I don't think anybody's enforcing it, but like there's like a curfew where everybody's supposed to be back home by 10 p.m.
Well, listen, don't get arrested for walking while white.
Isn't that sad that that's a joke?
It is, but I had to, I had to go
I will
there.
say though, and I don't want to get on this whole like I don't want to get in. This could give us this whole side conversation, but I have a neighbor who, he looks like he's white. He's very white, but he looks like he's up to something all the time. Like he's the kind of guy you look at and you're like, he's definitely done some time. And we were standing outside a shopping center trying to summon a Tesla to come to us, because you can press the button and the Tesla will just come to you, without you having to, you can remote move a Tesla towards you. And the shopping center security guy came up to us and was like, can I help you guys? And me personally, that's never happened to me if I was alone. It's happened to me when I was with friends who are Black. But it was very clear to us that it happened because we were with our friend who looked like he was up to shit. White dude. So it's,
Can I help you?
poor looking white people that look like they're up to no good get harassed sometimes. But it was like very obvious. It's like, oh, it's because of him, right?
Yeah, y'all heard like a Negro spiritual playing in the background. It was like swing low.
No, like I know that if I was standing there alone trying to summon a Tesla, like nobody would bug me. But like it was because we were with this, I don't know.
I didn't even know you could summon Teslas.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say,
that
like, what
far.
world am I? What you guys get DeLoreans too?
Well, yeah. It's when it's a white people thing. It comes with your white people credentials.
That
You get a
sounds like
DeLorean. Yeah,
That
you can't
sounds
summon
like
it for like
we've
a mile,
we've
but if
been-
you're in a parking lot, you can summon it like from like 50 feet away to come to you.
We've been in the dark, Mike. We don't get to summon Teslas.
wait a minute. You mean driverless? Like
Yeah.
it comes to you?
Yeah.
That's
If it's
and
your
it watches
car.
and it watches out for other cars.
It does, yeah.
I didn't know that was technology.
Just like drive it. It's like an
Hmm?
Uber. It's like an Uber.
No, it's your own car. You're just
We
getting it
have
to
a
drive up
Tesla.
to you.
Oh, you have a Tesla?
Yeah,
and
like
you
I
can-
said, it
drives to you. It comes to you.
comes to you. You can
Like
summon it.
on some Batman shit.
It's pretty cool.
So you notice what she did there, right? She didn't say we were trying to summon a Tesla. She didn't say we were trying to summon my Tesla. She said we were trying to summon a Tesla.
Listen, there's a certain level of shame I feel around my level of privilege.
He's like, we're trying to summon a Tesla. Like, oh, that makes it better. Like, what do you mean?
Don't worry
summon a
about whose Tesla it is. That's not important to the story.
Tesla?
Actually, that would be cool if it was a shared community Tesla. You had a bunch of shared community Teslas, and
That would
you'd
be
be like,
kinda cool.
summon a Tesla.
She's like, I know what it feels like to summon the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all have a good night.
Okay. All right. Have a good night. Peace.
Bye.